What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time and clicking on this video. Today we're gonna learn 5 tips on how to maneuver that sweet spanking new DJI Osmo Mobile 2. All right, so let's go up to the mountain.
We're good.
You can 49 states, the music, everything's free. Cool Arietta beer. It's finna start. See you later, cubbies.
Take care.
All right guys, tip number 1, balance. It's all about balance. You gotta make sure your mobile device is perfectly balanced with your stabilizer. Take some time to make sure your phone's inserted all the way in, and then make sure that there's no tilt or roll. Even if the DJI Osmo Mobile is turned off, you at least should have some pretty good stability there in terms of like the phone not going backwards or sideways. Why, you may be asking? Battery, right? So your motors are gonna have to work harder if you have it unbalanced. Number 2, very important, get acclimated with the modes. The new DJI Osmo Mobile 2 does not have a trigger anymore that locks the device in place. So for example, if you press the button once, it locks it in place. So it doesn't matter what you do, the phone will lock. If you tap the button again, it now will follow you along and it will move with you, like if you were releasing the trigger in the previous DJI Osmo Mobile. So this plays a huge part because when you're running and gunning, you want to make sure you're acclimated with those controls. That way you can get the shot right away. So huge thing. Get acclimated with the modes. 1 click is the follow mode. 2 clicks will recenter the device, and another click again will switch the modes. Yes, I did take off my jacket because it was getting pretty hot out here. You see, by having the device in the lock orientation mode, you're going to avoid any vertical shift in the Osmo because you're holding it towards you. If you were to hold it upright, you can go up and down, and we don't want to do that. We would definitely want to hold it this way. That way when you're walking, the actual gimbal mechanism is absorbing all the impact. You can also switch cameras by simply clicking the mode button 3 times, and it's pretty seamless. You cannot do this while you're filming, but before and after you can. Very useful. That way you don't have to be reaching out to the phone all the time. That leads me to tip number 3. We gotta make sure we're also acclimated with every single mode on the DJI Osmo Mobile so we can take advantage of all that crispiness. Most of these tools will make your life a lot easier, especially when you're trying to do time lapses or motion time lapses. So taking the time to explore will allow you to get some really cool shots while maximizing your time, so you don't have to stay too long trying to get the right shot. With most of these modes, your life becomes a lot easier. For example, the time lapse, or even things like pano. When you're taking photos on location, they're really cool. You can get some really super wide 180, 330 degree panos, or even fisheye-esque type of photos. So definitely take some time to get acclimated with the time lapses, the hyperlapses, the panoramics, all that fun stuff, and you'll see how your results are suddenly gonna start going up and up and up and up. Even if you post stuff on Instagram, it's gonna be fantastic because nobody else has this but you. Now, besides motion time-lapse, active track is one of my favorite camera modes because it gives you the freedom to move around and the camera follows you no matter where you go. This mode is super convenient because it's hands-free. You can move around and you don't have to worry too much about anything else. You just set up your phone on your tripod and then you just walk around, right? So there's really no need to have a cameraman, or no excuses at this point. This is the front-facing camera on the iPhone on a Manfrotto tripod with my DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Next tip, make sure you watch your footing. Just because you have a stabilizer doesn't really mean that it's gonna be almighty. You definitely have to keep your posture and make sure that your footing is adequate. Sometimes when you're walking too hard, you can transfer some of that weird shakiness to the phone, and then of course your footage is not gonna look good. So definitely make sure you're taking steady steps, little by little, not in a hurry, and 1 foot in front of the other. Bend your knees, and you'll notice a difference. Even with a regular phone, without having your gimbal, you're gonna notice a little bit of difference. If you just tighten your shoulders, tighten your elbows, and then just simply walk, bending your knees. Here's an example of just footage with regular footing versus little bit more conservative footing. And last but not least, guys, have fun, get creative. Think about the angles that you're using. Sometimes we have to avoid the gag reflex of just going and shooting. And take a look and analyze the area. Where's the sun? Where's the lighting? Should I just take a shot straight on, or should I come from the sides? That's when you start seeing those really cool angles where the gimbal's spinning, when you have a tilt, or when you use it as a jib. Here are some examples of jib. It's kind of like a crane where you can kind of like reveal something in your shot. You also have the ability to do some panning and zooming, and with your preferred editing software, you can ramp the speed on that thing and make it super dramatic, or just simply go slow, right? So taking the time to consider all the possibilities and all the possible angles will definitely make a big difference in your shots. Let me know in the comments section down below if you have any more tips or other things that you find out I want to implement them. And if you have any other special requests, let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for taking the time, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.